Yo, good morning, everybody. This is yours truly, Rama Screen. Welcome to YouTube live stream. Right now, it's Wednesday, August 9th, 7:30 a.m. California time. And last night, the whole night, I was working. So I woke up this morning to find this article. Yo, good morning, everybody. Okay, gotta turn that off. I can't stand to hear the sound of my voice. uh, Imagine even after posting so many reviews. But yeah, this morning, I woke up to this article that was actually posted last night when I was working. So I didn't realize it until now that this article existed. And usually, you know me. Usually, I would just kind of like screenshot something important, and then I just you know post it on the community page of my channel, so for you guys to react to that screenshot. Usually that's what happens because I'm a busy guy. I gotta pay the bills. But this one, dude, I got a few thoughts about this, man. I can't just like screenshot it and then just hand it to you guys. I need to talk about this because I am in this business. I'm an entertainment journalist. I'm a film critic, and so granted, I'm a small timer. All right, I'm not a big time film critic or big time journalist. I don't get access to like freaking Tom Cruise, for example. You know me. But I interview celebrities. I am in the circles of that, right in the middle of all that commotion of award season, red carpets, you name it, premieres. Um, to the best of my ability. And so this really hits home with me, this article. Basically, just want to give you context. Who the hell is Scott Feinberg? Now, if you guys don't know who Scott Feinberg is, you probably, are not really knee deep in the whole Hollywood entertainment reporting business, if you will, and that's fine. But if you are a really knee deep in movie aficionado in your movie fandom, you may have heard the name Scott Feinberg. He is one of the most prominent names as far as entertainment reporters go, and he is one of the executives, I believe, or was at the Hollywood Reporter, which is a very big outlet here in Hollywood. There's the Hollywood Reporter and there's Variety, right? He is one of the big head honchos in the Hollywood Reporter, and I always see him. I never met him in person, but I always see him like in a few feet away whenever I go to Santa Barbara International Film Festival because he's the guy that always moderates the panels for them every year. Um, that's what he gets paid to do. And he would break, entertainment news through the outlet of the Hollywood Reporter. And I hate this guy because for the past couple of years, some of the news that he broke had to do with bad mouthing the critics organization that I am a part of, which is Hollywood Critics Organization. You know, my group, my critics circle, the Hollywood Critics Association is not perfect, and we always try to correct ourselves. We always try to improve ourselves. We always try to take steps to, make sure that we do better. We're humans. We have faults. But this Scott Feinberg guy, it's like he made it his agenda. He made it his um, mission, if you will, to keep attacking Hollywood Critics Association every single time. He would always, I get it. I get it. It's the whole thing with the clickbait outrage culture, right? Um, if your article can create drama, then your article would get the most views, would get the most clicks and whatnot. And that's what his business. That's the business that he's in, trying to stir things up. So anyway, last year he wrote an article about how some Hollywood stars' personal baggage might hinder them from getting an Oscar nomination. And just to sum it up, the article mentions names like Brad Pitt, um, Will Smith, who slapped Chris Rock. You know, he was in the contention for awards season for that movie Emancipation. And then he mentioned Letitia Wright, the actress from Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever. Because Letitia, a couple of years ago during pandemic, she refused to take vaccines. That was a big deal, and so but Letitia already apologized for that, and so she got furious about that article last year that Scott Feinberg published through Hollywood Reporter. She pretty much dragged Scott Feinberg on her Instagram post, like, "How dare you, you so-called journalist? I already apologized for that, and you trying to, uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Sabotage my Oscar move. Like because of what I did like two years ago. You're still on that. How you're so called. So everybody was piling on Scott Feinberg, which I loved. I was happy to see it. And so Scott Feinberg, because of Letitia Wright calling him out, Scott had to delete his Twitter account. So he had been he had been gone from social media for quite some time. Look at me. I'm not, you know me. I'm not who rah rah team cancel somebody all the time, right? Now, you know me. I like you got to do it case by case basis. But man, was I glad to see Scott Feinberg getting dragged by Letitia Wright. That was just like well deserved. Which brings us to today. I woke up this morning to this article, which was posted last night, and I want to show it to you guys, and I'll show you also the reactions from other people to this article. So basically, what's the background here? Let me see. Boom, there you go. So I saw this tweet. You guys can see it, right? From Eric Anderson from Awards Watch. Eric is a pretty known entertainment journalist as well. Hmm. And Eric reported Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter, who took a year off social media after misogynistic tweets and attacking Letitia Wright, demands studios not show films to any of my fellow awards pundits before you show them to me. Implies repercussions if they don't comply. What the hell? Wow. You see, this is the case, or this is an example of people who have power and wielding that power willy nilly, or wielding that power negatively, right? Because they're so drunk in power, like, you're gonna show the screeners or the screenings to my other my competitors, my rivals, my fellow pundits before me. Well, I'll show you. So Rama, what does it mean? Like, what kind of power does he have? What kind of leverage does he have over the Hollywood studios that he can make such demands? Where the article is pretty lengthy. You can read it by yourself on Vanity Fair. So Vanity Fair has um the gist here basically. But let me give you a few paragraphs. So what does Scott Feinberg say on his email to the studios? And I'm sorry about this advertisement here. Let me make this bigger, maybe. So just don't mind that. Riley Cool, right? That's Riley Cool. Okay. So here's what he says on email. As you plan the rollout of your films, I would like to respectfully ask you that you not show films to any of my fellow awards pundit before you show them to me, even if that person represents himself or herself to you as A, potential reviewer of it, B, needing to see the film in order to be part of decisions about covers, or C, really anything else. We feel that doing so is plainly unfair to the Hollywood Reporter, as it puts us at a competitive disadvantage, especially at Film Fest where every second counts. It is not unreasonable to ask you to insist that someone is either an award pundit or a critic slash cover editor, but not both, at least during award season. Um, okay, so where's the rest of his email? Okay, in the email, He went on to imply, he as in Scott Feinberg, that there would be repercussions for studios that would continue to distribute invitations to screenings, and that moving forward, the Hollywood Reporter may take that into consideration during the booking of roundtables, podcasts, or other coverage. He wrote, referring to the sought after spots on the outlet celebrity fueled discussion series. So basically, Scott Feinberg is the guy who hosts the actors roundtable, the writers roundtable, the directors roundtable. You may have seen those videos, right, on YouTube. And they're very popular. A lot of people wanted to see them. So basically, if it's a actors roundtable, it'll be Scott Feinberg, who is the moderator, and the roundtable will be filled with potential Oscar nominees of that year. So basically, he's saying, so that's the leverage that he's like hanging over the studios. Like, hey, if you don't give me priority access first to these screenings, then your movies we're not going to promote them. The Hollywood Reporter, we have these roundtables, we have these interview sessions. We're not going to have your actors be on it. We're not going to have your movies be on this, be on our program. And if you ask me, can he do that? Somewhat, because the Hollywood Reporter, as I said, is a big outlet, one of the biggest outlets, next to Variety. And so but the thing is, man, that's a really asshole move. That's a really dick move. And what happened to free market, right? What happened to free market? Like, I thought we're supposed to have a free market society in this country where everybody can compete with everybody, right? This is basically asking for monopoly. The guy is asking for, like, hey, give me, exclusive access first, and everybody could be like behind the line. What happened? Like, oh, because we're so scared. We're so scared of competition. Like, what? What are you so like? You're freaking the Hollywood Reporter. What are you so scared of competition for? Like, now you're like pretty much stepping on every other film critic and journalist in the country, basically, poo-pooing them, shitting on them, just so you can get exclusives. Like, dude, do you want to become a comic book villain? Because this is the way to do it. Let's read some more here. Well, let's see what he says. It gets ridiculous. As somebody who's organizing and spearheading an Oscar campaign this year for a certain title, it just puts a really bad taste in my mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a comment from a reaction from one of the senior publicists at the top studio. So basically, they received this email from Scott Feinberg, and this is how they react to it. It just puts a really bad taste in my mouth. Who notes that the decision to screen early lives with me, and it lives with people who are working with filmmakers. They added, this culture of pre-screenings has just gotten a little bit out of control if you have these kinds of emails going around where people are demanding they see it before their competitors who are actually their colleagues. Exactly. The studio publicist is correct. Like, it's just like, dude, what are you doing, man? You're demanding that you get to see the screenings for, like, who are you? Who died and made you like the king of film critics and entertainment journalists over everybody else? Like, really? And these other guys are supposed to be your colleagues. He's right. This studio publicist is correct. It's like I said, it's a dick move. It's an asshole move on Scott Feinberg's part, and it just makes me hate him even more, man. I already dislike the guy for what he's been doing to my group. My Hollywood Critics Association keeps trashing him all the time, every chance he gets. Now, like, everybody who ever thinks that Scott Feinberg is a reputable or like respected reporter now would see him for who he truly is, which is an asshole. The guy is an asshole. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Such an entitlement, dude. Such an entitlement mentality this guy has. Holy crap. He thinks he's like he thinks he's the shit, man. Holy fuck. There's no self-awareness at all after what he did to Letitia Wright last year. He just went away because he got scared. And now he came back not with humility. He didn't come back humble. He didn't come back like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my head down and do the work. No, he came back like being an asshole again. Unbelievable, this guy. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Before we get to you get to your chat here, let me give you my not my let me show you some of the reactions here. So this is the tweet from Eric Anderson about Scott Feinberg. Uh, the gall if this guy him saying he didn't mean like that. He said, you know what? Let me let's do the quote because the tweet quotes there are some that are like really juicy. But yeah, I how does this affect me? Guys, I do attend pre screenings, but again, as I said to you earlier, I'm a small timer. I'm not a big timer film critic, entertainment journalist. I interview celebrities, as you know, um, but I don't have power. I can't hold like leverage over any studio or whatnot. So whatever invites that I get, I'm just grateful for them. There are some invites that made me angry at times because they come very very late, like about Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was like, I can't prepare for my review if you give me these screenings like really late in the week. But in most cases, I'm like, you know what? Whatever you can give me, I'll get it because I'm a small timer. I'm self aware. I know that I can't demand or request shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it, I think this would. It's back to my point earlier. Like are we gonna have a free market or are we not? Are we gonna have a fair competition or are we not? Because this guy is basically demanding monopoly onto himself. Like he would be the one getting first on everything, and that just gives this whole business a bad look, a bad name. Um, oh my God! You know what? I'll just say this: why hasn't the Hollywood Reporter fired this guy? Like really, they need to fire Scott Feinberg. I get it though. They maybe he has a long history with them, and I don't know what would be the term for tenure is. If we talk about college professor, maybe he's like, maybe he's got something on them. Maybe he's got dirt on all the other executives in the Hollywood Reporter. Like, but dude, they need to kick him to the curb. They really need to kick him out, man. I know. It sounds like cancel culture. It is cancel culture when I'm saying that. But isn't this a fireable offense, right? If you do this in your workplace, wouldn't you get fired? In any other field. You know what I'm saying? Your boss would like have you come to his office, like, hey, dude, why are you sending this email out to like other companies? Are you trying to get fired? Right? In other workplaces, you would get fired for this. Jesus. So anyway, some of the tweet quotes here, reactions. Phantom says, "I have been shocked by Scott Feinberg's unprofessionalism for years." Phantom gave examples and screenshots. Brandon Strusnik says, "This should have been the end of Feinberg's worthless career." So everybody here on the tweet quotes are bringing their receipts, right? Either screenshots or audio or video example. They're bringing their receipts, evidences from the past of when Scott Feinberg in the past was being an asshole. And it's like, dude, this is like, this tracks. This really tracks. This is Scott Feinberg right here. Um, Real and roll film. Scott Feinberg has always had such a tasteful observation on how studios should roll out their films. um, Kevin Jacobson, Scott seeing in the worst blogger post about screening invites. I really don't care if something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead. uh, that's good. Harris says, of course, it's Scott Fuckberg. Rachel says Scott Feinberg is the definition of a privileged man baby, and I better not see him getting his treatment. This treatment he demanded. Um, Jack Murphy, the roundtable we end up with after Scott Feinberg and his man baby ego get hurt because he may not get to see movies early. Um, so is it hard to think these people want access in exchange for favors? And that's the thing too. That's the thing too. That's a good point actually. A lot of these, and I'm not gonna name names. I think I discussed this with you guys. A lot of these film critics or so quote unquote entertainment journalists, you can throw in Scott Feinberg in there. Um, Access is everything to them, so they don't really care about objectively critiquing a movie. They don't give a fuck about that. All they care about is how do I get my reputation even more? Like, how do I, uh, get more status? That's all that the goal that they have in mind. The objectivity is nothing that's not even in their head at all. Um, it's like, how do I get interviews with these celebrities? How do I get to see this movie before everybody else? How to access. And so they don't want to critique or they don't want to badmouth any movie at all. So just so they can have access, just so they can be good with the studios, and so like that's their goal in their career, and there's no honesty, there's no bravery, there's no courage in that. You know what I'm saying? Because all they want is just to like lick boots. Their noses will be so brown because their heads are so up in the studio's asses. It's like that's all they want, and this is what Scott Feinberg wants as well. Brian Scuttle says, "What an absolute jackass." Randy Schulman says, "Scott Feinberg is a total absolute shithead. No critic deserves preferential treatment. I never enjoyed reading him before. Now I'll just avoid his nonsense together." Um, and I also commented. I said, "Just when you thought Scott Feinberg couldn't be more of an asshole, he truly can." Um, Ahmad said, "You would not believe the entitlement in some sections of the entertainment press. If I hadn't seen it firsthand for more than a decade, I wouldn't either." Um, so it can get really toxic, man. In the entertainment journalism circle and film critics circle, it can get really toxic. Because you have all these people like Scott Feinberg who believes in their heart of hearts that because they have been around longer or because they are associated with the Hollywood Reporter, a big outlet, like they deserve more than the rest of us. Um, the rest of us who work just as hard, or sometimes even harder for no pay. Because I'm a small timer YouTuber that YouTube doesn't pay me shit, but I love what I do. What? So I don't. So my hard work doesn't deserve some sort of not preferential treatment. It's like some sort of reward or in return of investments over there. Like if you work hard, you want something. You want to see something in return for that, right? It's normal. Um, I'm not asking for me to be treated more special than the guy next to me, but I would love for my hard work to earn something in return. And so people like Scott Feinberg doesn't believe that. He's like, no, 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 no. It doesn't matter if you work hard. It doesn't matter if you bust your ass off for nothing. Only me, 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 me. Only I, Scott Feinberg, gets to have everything. And so you can read all these quotes. There's so many of them. As I said, the article was online since last night when I was working, and it's just like mind-boggling. This just gives the industry a bad name, and it's already not good before because a lot of people already have, you know, uh, I guess you could say, not favorable opinion about critics and entertainment journalists. And as a guy in this business myself, even I can critique them, like, because I always say that entertainment journalism is not about um, actual journalism. We're not holding people's feet to the fire. We're not holding powerful people accountable, like journalists supposed to do. Entertainment journalism is all about uh, promoting shit. It's basically marketing. We're helping studios promote their shit, or we're helping indie films, or we're helping this talent or their talent promote their project. That's what entertainment journalism mostly, unless you're Ronan Farrow, uncovering freaking shit about the abuse of Harvey Weinstein, for example. That's like really, really rare. But most of the time, entertainment journalism is about celebrity fawning and promoting shit. That's all it is. So for somebody like Scott Feinberg to he really thinks that it's the whole world to that, like entertainment journalists, like all access, like, oh my god, this is it. Dude, take a step back and realize it's not like you're not holding anybody accountable. You're not making a shift in the in any policy, any public policy. It's just entertainment, dude. Like, even I have to admit that. Like, dude, why take it too seriously like this? But it just speaks to his personality. He's entitled. He's a douche. He's a dick. He's an asshole, and he thinks he's better than the rest of us. That's who Scott Feinberg is, and he needs to disappear. He needs to disappear. Oh my God! If not getting fired, something. Please, something happen to. Please, nothing physical, of course. I don't want to. I'm not promoting inciting any violence or anything. But he needs to just go away from this business, man, because he is toxic. He's making us look bad, and he's just all the stuff that I already mentioned to you earlier. So let's get to the chat here before I go to my next order of business for the day, because I'm starving. I need to get some breakfast. Sachin says, good morning, Arsenal fan, Mr. Rama, who is Scott Feinberg. Mr. Rama, don't you think Hollywood is not paying attention to the SAG after issue and playing it out like sweep it under the carpet and move on kid situation? Yeah. I think they've made it clear that the Hollywood studios are what's the word I'm looking for? Waiting this out until, like, they one of the executives got quoted on Deadline. Of course it's anonymous because they don't want to be exposed. That they're looking to wait until the writers and the actors lose their homes and can't pay for their rent. That's the leverage that they have over these actors and writers. So this discussion about Scott Feinberg demanding studios to give him priority access, it's not me trying to put a good light on the studios. Okay, the studios are still also the enemy in the whole strike business, the whole ordeal thing. So that's not the intention. But yeah, to your point, you're correct. I don't know what else to say about that. Tyler says, it feels ironic given that many of these publications are the ones who spoil movies minutes after the premiere. They do, right? Remember, Tyler, you may have remembered this. A lot of them got invited to CinemaCon in Las Vegas. So they got to see The Flash early. Let me bring this back to me. And I think one of them spoiled the whole digital Christopher Reeve and Nicolas Cage showing up. Like, spoil it, like straight up spoil it, like on Twitter. I was like, what the hell? And it was like the rest of us were so mad, man. Everybody, in the movie sphere, the movie fandom sphere, like, everybody was pissed off. Well, some of them may not be pissed off. Some of them may like spoilers. But yeah, to your point, dude. Exactly. They don't have. I mean, they take pleasure. Like I said earlier, that's because we're in this culture of audience capture. We're in this culture of doing whatever shameless thing you can to get clicks, and views, and most of them, even the Twitter, what you post, the ones that get the most engagement, the most retweets, are the outrage tweet, right? If you can tweet something outrageous or tweet something that can piss people off, just like spoilers, boom, suddenly everybody know who you are, right? That's how you get your little bit of fame, a little bit of status, and you feed off of that. And so, yeah, most definitely. Tyler says he's come back and transformed into Hans Gruber. Oh, oh, that's a pretty interesting comparison. Hans Gruber, man, I want to try to impersonate Hans Gruber's accent, but I can't. I won't do it justice. Tyler says, I vividly remember someone from Variety spoiling Harry Styles' cameo in Eternals right after premiere. Exactly, exactly. And remember, this year, right? The Rap spoiled the Dwayne Johnson coming back to the Fast and Furious franchise after they saw the movie at the Rome premiere in Rome, or Fast X. Remember that, Tyler? So yeah, dude, these I'm telling you, Scott Feinberg is not um, Scott Feinberg is not an anomaly, if you will. He's not a rarity, and I bet you, in the minds of some of these other so-called journalists, including the ones Variety spoiling Harry Styles and the Rap spoiling Dwayne Johnson, when they read about Scott Feinberg, yeah, I bet you they're like in their heads like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? I should have emailed studios too and demand requested access. I deserve it too. Like I deserve it more than Scott Feinberg. Let me email. I'm telling you, it goes through their head right now, going like, "Oh shit, Scott Feinberg thought it first, son of a bitch. Why didn't I? You know what? Because Scott Feinberg, like I said, it's not an anomaly. A lot of these other people also think like I should get it first. I should be the one to break it first on Twitter. I should be the one to spoil it for you guys. So um, this douchebaggery is not exclusive to Scott Feinberg, definitely. But Scott Feinberg has perfected it. Scott Feinberg has mastered it. Scott Feinberg is right now currently owning it. Like, he's the one holding the banner, hey, that says, I'm a douchebag, look at me. Um, so, yeah, but, there's other Scott Feinbergs also out there. He's not the only one, definitely. Um, but yeah, so I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep doing the work, man. As I said, I don't have any power over anybody else, or especially studios, let alone studios. Um, what's the word? What's the old saying? Beggars can't be choosers, right? Um, and I'll try my best. You know me, I always give a out of the theater reaction or reaction on social media right after screenings. But I always try my best not to spoil shit. And you've seen my reaction. Not everything is positive. I try to be honest with you guys. If I don't like the movie, like I don't like Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, I'll tell you. I will tell you I don't like Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I don't care if Paramount doesn't like it or whatnot. It's like I say what comes to my mind. So that's the only thing I could sell to you guys: this honesty, and you get what you know you get what you get from me, basically. There's no pretentiousness about it. So about me. So that's all. That's my only marketing edge, if you will, because I'm not Scott Feinberg. I'm not the Rap. I'm not Variety. But yeah, Scott Feinberg, you are an asshole. Congratulations, my friend. You have become a comic book villain, and if that is your objective, mission accomplished. Pat yourself on the back. But don't don't expect the rest of us, shaking your hands or saying hi to you when we see you at the next film festival or screenings, because we don't like associating ourselves with assholes like you. Definitely. All right, that's it. That's my opinion about this whole topic. Let me know what you think of this discussion. And share your thoughts in the comment section below, Tyler. And Sachin, thank you for chatting with me. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's rock this.